All right, guys, it's Tuesday. It's about 7 a.m. So I'll get you the update on everything that got done yesterday. Made some progress with stuff and want to show you guys that and also update you on the week. It's Roadkill week, and so busy week, a lot of stuff that has to be done and ready to go. So let's get right after it. Thanks for watching, guys. And that notch in the oil pan, if you can see that, the starter barely clears that. We used to just drop the starter out through the bottom because it would... All right, here we go. This is the Haas update for today. Today's Roadkill week, Tuesday. So the block is in. They did a lot of probing, a lot of measuring, a lot of figuring out with things yesterday on it. So I think as far as hope, because I mean they didn't start cutting the block, but I believe from what they're saying everything is ready, that block will start to get cut today. So hopefully we're going to see a bunch of chips in the bin and a lot of movement with that machine. So that's where we're at with the Haas today. All right, guys, that's the update with the Haas machine. Before I get into the updates with 1.0 and 2.0 and where we got with that, just want to remind everybody that this week, Roadkill week, we have Sick Pizza Party Thursday. So this coming Thursday, so in just a couple days, we got the Sick Pizza Party at Sick Pizza, Oxford, Michigan. Donation for Epilepsy Foundation of Michigan. That gets you a slice of pizza. There's also pop there. There's Sullivan's Tavern, like right there. So there's going to be beer. There's going to be a lot of cool cars. 80's going to have a ship box there. We're hoping if we get time to get the ice cream truck in and get it taken care of. We just have to change out the air conditioner compressor, which is what we use for the air compressor. We've gone through a couple of them. We actually fried that one. It has an electric pump that was able to cap it off and get it here, but the electric pump takes a long time to air up the system on it. Plus the air horn, you can't use it as much with it because it doesn't keep up as well. So just creature comforts that really want to have that air conditioner compressor swapped out so that we can have the full range of what we want to do with the ice cream truck. So that'll be there. 1.0, we get that all wrapped up, running and driving, then that should be there. As well as, I know that Joe Barry plans to be there, so he'll have his beautiful 56 there. You're gonna have, who got a hold of me yesterday? Brian Goldstone should be there with his Javelin. And then you also have, I know, Jimmer Klein with the GTO. I mean, actually it doesn't have the GTO. I think they got Lil Jimmer's car, because that car, Jim's GTO is an accident, and I don't think it's back from paint yet, but it is getting close. Just a lot of cool stuff, and a lot of other people that, Mark Cicino, I mean, there's Rick Stanky, like a lot of people coming in town. I did get word yesterday Tom McGilton isn't going to be able to make it. They're still waiting on his turbos. Dave Schroeder's not going to be able to make it because he sent me a couple update pictures on his car. Not anywhere near ready to go. So they've got the crash on for drag week, but a lot of cool cars there. Friday, you have the Sick Party at M1 Concourse. So there's 100 and some cars going to it. If you haven't registered for it and you want to register for it, it is closed out, but I do have some remaining stickers that I'll have with me at the pizza party, that if you wish to make your donation for that, then you can get in there to that on Friday, which is real cool. It's going to be kind of a hybrid cars and coffee. That registration for Roadkill nights will happen on Friday. We got the email yesterday, so it's actually starting at 4. At 6 o'clock starts the M1 party, sick day deal. And so there'll be a bunch of cars there. Now that, you can only get in there with a car. There is no pedestrian traffic going to be allowed. Everything will be set up for Dodge on Saturday for Roadkill nights. So it's kind of like we're coming in the back way, we're going to be able to hang out, but there will be M1s providing food and beverage service there. So that's available. If you're not anywhere around here and you still want to help the cause, you can go to www.bailey-racing.com and buy one of the event t-shirts, depending on how many's left. There's not a lot left. I mean, we've sold out of most everything. But There is some of all the sizes still left, but I know that they're going pretty quickly there. But that is happening, or that's another way for you to support the cause. Now, on to the other deal. Talked to Lukey last night, and the magazine should be going to print possibly last night. I'm not sure if it last night or today. I did get to preview some of it over the weekend. Like I said before, I mean, I think it's 190 pages end up being. I mean, you're talking, this thing is sweet. So if you're interested in that, I mean, sickthemag.com, that's where you can sign up, get a subscription to it. But that first issue will be going to print. Super excited about that. We were actually hoping that we were going to have it in our hands for Roadkill. We're not going to have it in our hands for Roadkill, but it should be shipping out hopefully the week after Roadkill. But that's kind of what's going on around here. Trying to keep you up to date on all the things that are happening. Drag week prep, full bore, and now let's get on to 1.0 and 2.0 updates. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe. 2.0. One thing we got ordered, we did get the windows from Bob with Pro Glass. So he's working on all the new windows for it. We have gone through some of the parts. Aeromotive's got some stuff coming for us because we ended up with the wrong regulator as a replacement. Basically, it's a lot of onesie twosie stuff, and that's the thing. Like a lot of ordering was done yesterday. A lot of figuring out stuff was done yesterday with 2.0. We thought we had most everything, which we had most everything, or we have most everything to put it back together as far as the big parts, but the trinket stuff, like the small stuff that's so important, that we have lots of that we need and lots of that we need to order. So progress wise, did make some progress with the fire system, with the hoses, and starting to route some of the tubing for that. Engine side, bypass side, like a not a lot of movement here with it. We did get that in place as far as like the shut off, because waiting for some parts for this, for that primer pump that I talked about yesterday. A lot of figuring out, a lot of ordering of stuff, like I said. But it kind of took a back burner yesterday to some stuff with 1.0, mostly for the fact that 1.0 needs to be ready to go here quickly. 2.0, I mean, does have a few weeks before it needs to be done. So while we need to keep getting all the little pieces and parts coming in, we do have to keep moving forward with it. And the more pieces and parts we have in place, the quicker, hopefully, it will go back together once we get to that point. So that is where you're at with 2.0 on Tuesday, and where the update is. Oh, one thing too, like I don't know where they put them, but some idiot ordered the wrong chutes. So went through, made sure they were right size chutes. We run air launchers. They came with the spring launchers in them. That's one of those things when you're just looking at the stuff and you're looking at the description, like it's just not, it doesn't put it in layman's terms sometimes. You really need to know what you're looking at. So so now I gotta sort the chutes out so that we can get the right chutes today. So that's where that would give you the update on 2.0. All right, update on 1.0. We did not get as far as we thought we were going to get with 1.0 yesterday. We did run into a hiccup, like I told you about, with the oil pan, and going to a different oil pan and making some changes there. So we had some hoses, which I'll show you. Probably the biggest thing is that the starter, where the starter goes, and that notch in the oil pan, if you can see that, the starter barely clears that. We used to just drop the starter out through the bottom because it would clear this frame rail and go in there. We had no problem getting the starter in there when it was sitting on the engine hoist, but we knew once we got it in there that starter wasn't coming out unless we made some modifications. So we had, I I don't know if you would call these travel travel limiters or what you would call them, but this had, from when it was originally built, I can show you on this passenger side better, but it did have these limiters that went up and they attach to the block and they come back. We've always ran those, but like looking at everything yesterday, and it was easy to bolt them right back in because they've always been there. But we run a 1/2 inch mid plate on this car. We also run this billet front plate. So the movement of this engine back and forth, we believe, is so minimal that that there was no need for that to be there. Passenger side, we really had to get rid of it for the fact that because of everything we did for that oil pan. And the reason we went to that oil pan is with the oiling issue that we've had with the car. This is actually an external oil pump car or engine. So it does have an external oil pump right down there. So that scavenges everything, but it's a wet sump, so therefore the oil still does stay in the pan. So the issue that we always run into is on the shutdown at the end of the track is all the oil wants to go to the front of the engine. I wish I had the other oil pan I'd show you, but like there's a bunch of baffles and everything in the old oil pan. This oil pan I'm sure is the same way with a bunch of baffles. Compartments and stuff are different on this to try and keep that oil from rushing to the front, that there's still some stuff for the sump to suck, to where 2.0, if I show you on 2.0, it's a flat pan and it's a dry sump, which a dry sump means a completely external oil pump or oil can. That's all the oil is stored in there. So when you look at the oil pan on this, same thing, external pump. This has more stages, but same concept. And here it sumps and it's pulling out of these, but you can see where that flows and it's always pulling out. But the biggest thing is you always have a reserve in this can, is the idea that it holds enough that you're never going to run out of oil with it. So with the wet sump in this, you can, like when all that stuff sloshes to the front, you can go to where there is no oil, so it's sucking air. Well, if it's sucking air, especially at a higher RPM, then lubrication's not there because the oil's not there. So that was the change there with that pan. Changed some stuff with the bypass on the pump to try and keep that wet all the time, because we never had an oiling issue with this car, and over the last couple years it seems like it's gotten tricky with that oiling. So that's where we got with that. So we had to cut. There was also, I'll show you, there's a bar which is still on this side, but this bar here, which is the attachment point for that, is still on this side because, I mean, it wasn't in the way. But on the other side, I don't know if you can really see it, but you can kind of see where this is ground down here and we cut it off up here. Don't know how well you can see it, but it was in there and we took it out. And that's so that we can get that starter out of there, because if anything happens to the starter, right now it's stuck in there, or it was going to be stuck. So to make it serviceable, we had to modify that. That slowed us down. And then a couple with the oil pan, the lines are in different places, the attachment points, so we had to shorten some of the lines on it. No big deal, just stuff that was time consuming. We did make sure though that we got the headers mounted so that the silicone can set up overnight. We're going to get that stuff together, get the turbos in it. It's actually not, the hard part's done, all the torque converter bolts are in, a lot of the hard stuff's done. Just really have to hang the turbos, run the wire, double check everything, check some of the hoses, and should be good to go. So update on that should be that it will be running, and I don't know, by lunchtime. All right guys, not a lot of updates on how everything progressed yesterday. I mean, a lot of stuff got done, but it doesn't look good when I put it in video for you. So should be closer with everything. Should be a lot of updates for you tomorrow. So just wanted to make sure though, like I said, I mean, give you the videos that said I'd get you a video every day so that we could keep you updated on the progress this week. But I did come across a couple old videos I believe that the first video that is going to come up next is the first dyno of 1.0's engine before it went in. So this is basically after it was in Indian barrel ground car as a pro-charged motor when it was first put together. So then when we switched it to when 1.0 was being put together, 1.0 when I got it, it was a pro-charged car, but I got it as a roller. So we knew power level wise that with what we wanted to do, we wanted it to be a turbo motor. So when I got 1.0, everything got switched over. We got it as a roller, we had to switch everything to it to make it into a turbo car because it was not a turbo car when Denny Terzic built it. And so this, I believe, is the first dyno session, and there's no numbers or anything on it, but like first dyno session of 1.0's engine as a turbo engine before it went into 1.0. The other bonus is one of the first test passes of 1.0. I mean, it's been years ago, so I don't know, but Ron Weasley's in the video. It's at 131, and it is one of the first test passes that we ever did with the car. But I don't know if that actually is sub or after Drag Week 2012, because I feel like Drag Week 2012, we got it together, we loaded in a trailer, we went there. So this is probably after Drag Week 2012, which was the first year that we ever ran 1.0. But either way, a couple short videos for you to enjoy and basically see some of the stuff from the, they call it the archive stuff that I just happened to find on a hard drive that I'll share with you guys. So thanks for watching, guys. So please subscribe and keep your comments coming, because I use what you say and the questions you guys asked and then try and answer those things in the videos. So thanks, guys.